Hi, Rich Sheffrin here again, back in Baltimore. It's now, I don't know, close to 2 o'clock in the morning. And welcome to the next presentation, which is 13 sneaky ways to boost cart value and multiply email sales. So let's just dive in. Here's what we're going to cover in this presentation. We're going to cover bump offers, how to truly leverage decoy offers. Most people do it incorrectly. Soft offer prepays, extra unknown options, applying credit forward, upsell until you get 2 no's, order form abandonment sequences, and second chance follow-up. So with all that, let's dive in and look at bump offers. So a bump offer is a unexpected additional item that is on the actual order page. And in general, it is better if it's, at least from what we've experienced, and I learned this from Todd Brown. He was doing a lot of this and shared results with me. It's a lot better, or it can work a lot better if the bump offer is more of the same, right? But just like expands on the offer, right? So let's see. Yeah, so one-time offer, want the official blank workbook too. It makes the learning experience much more interactive. Just add 20, just for 27 bucks. Want our conversion crusher video sales letter template, right? So this is from .com, Secret Labs. It's proven to work easily installed, just 37 bucks, right? So, and I don't remember what this is, but very powerful strategy. I've seen this take offers that were not hitting the were above the allowable acquisition cost, and have this come in and actually save a campaign and make lots of money, because this took it below allowable acquisition cost and therefore kept the offer alive and kept it making money. So these are bump offers, and very powerful. Once you've gotten someone to the order page, they're already planning on ordering, they're filling it out. Why not, do what the supermarkets do and every place else that tries to get that extra impulse item. All right, let's talk about decoys, right? Decoy offers. Hold on. Sorry about that. Decoy offers. There we go. All right, so well, not obviously, decoy, everything in life is contextually based. In the world of transformation that I spent a little bit of time in, they talk about how context is decisive, right? I behave a different way when I'm at home versus when I'm at work. And there are these great stories about how just small shifts in context can totally change behavior. Broken windows theory, that whole concept of cleaning up an environment then reduces crime, is a great example of context being decisive. There's a great study in, I think it was either Blank, or I think it was Blank, a Malcolm Gladwell book, talking about priests who were in a seminary and were preparing to become priests. And in this test, what they did is they had everybody in the group prepare a sermon on being a good Samaritan. And then half of the priests they sent over and said, okay, it's time to give your sermon. And while they were on their way to give their sermon, they would meet someone in need. When they saw that person in need, 80% stopped and helped that person. The other half, they said, it's time to give your sermon, and oh my God, you're late, you've got to get over there. And so those people that went over to where they were given the sermon, only 20% stopped to help the person in need. Now, these are people who have committed their life to God, who want to be the shepherd for their flock, right? Who have just prepared a sermon on how to be a good Samaritan, helping others in need. And just 2 words, "you're late," completely changed who they were as people, taking it from 80% helping down to 20%. So context is decisive. And so when we talk about decoy offers, we're talking about altering the context to make one option seem a lot more appealing than maybe it would in a vacuum or with regular other options. So, these circles are the same size, but this visually seems bigger just because of the smaller circles around it as opposed to the bigger circles. Context is decisive, right? Decoy offers are based on context, right? So, you know, you can get the small for 3, you can get the large for 7, right? So they put a medium, which might be just a little bit bigger than the small, for $6.50, and now this price makes this offer seem like a better deal. This offer makes no sense. You wouldn't want to get a medium for $6.50 when you can get a large for just 50 cents more, but more people choose the large here than choose the large here, because you don't make decisions in a vacuum. When you make a decision, you're comparing options in your mind. And so when this option gets put in, it all of a sudden makes this look much more appealing than this did. I learned this from Dan Ariely. He's a friend of mine. He wrote about this in his book, Predictably Irrational. If you're a marketer and you haven't read that book, shame on you. You should read it. But this is what decoys are based on. Now, the famous example that Dan shared in Predictably Irrational was 2 different pages from The Economist magazine. And so when people were just offered these 2 options, get the Economist subscription for $59 or get the print and web subscription for $125, 68% took the $59 offer, 32% took the $125 offer. But look what happens here. They added one option. That makes no sense, right? Because here you can get the print subscription, just like here, for $59. So that's the same, right? And this last option, the print and the web subscription, that's the same. But what's different and what's added is just get the print subscription for $125, which makes no sense because you can get the print and web subscription for $125, right? When these come, right now only 16% take what before 68% were taking, and 84% take the $125 option as opposed to only 32% here. Now, why does this happen? Just like the medium that makes no sense, when this gets put in, all of a sudden it shifts the context, and so we're now making a decision based on comparing it to alternatives. This seems like a much better deal when this is put in place, because now it seems like I should pay $60 plus another $125, right? So I should be paying $174, right? As opposed to $125. So now this looks like a bigger deal. Now, a lot of people think they get it, they understand it. What I did in France was I actually had people make sure that they got it by, 1, doing an exercise. We're going to do that real quick here, and then taking an offer and actually working on it. All right. So here's a hypothetical example, right? Let's say we're at the castle in France all together, right? And there's 2 restaurants. There's a restaurant that is a 3-star ranking, right? That's restaurant B. It's 5 minutes away. Or there's a 5-star restaurant, restaurant A, 25 minutes away, okay? So we got these 2 restaurants, and let's say that you're crafty and you want to get the group or get your spouse or whoever you're with to choose a specific option, right? So let's say we wanted to make option A more appealing. And so we're going to add a decoy. Where would the decoy be? And I strongly suggest that you pause this video right now and do this, because if you can't identify where it should be here, then you don't really get the decoy. This is a very easy way to kind of self-test yourself to see, how do we make this more appealing, right? Do we put something over here? Obviously not, right? If we want to make this more appealing, a restaurant of the same quality that's shorter distance, that's what's going to be chosen. So you can't put it here. What about here? No, that doesn't really make much sense either. So where would you put this? I'll show you where I would put it. I would put it here, right? Have a 4-star restaurant, so worse than the 5-star restaurant, even further away, right? When this, because now this option makes no sense compared to this option. Why would I be willing to travel further than the 5-star restaurant, an extra 10 minutes, for worse food? So if you picked putting it over here somewhere, that's the right answer, right? How would we make restaurant B more appealing? Let's say we are not in the mood to go 25 minutes and we don't like 5-star restaurants. How are we going to convince everyone to choose B? Well, we know we can't put it here, right? Because that's how we made A more appealing. So are we putting it here? Are we putting it here? Where do you think we should put it? I would pause it for a second, figure it out. If you do, it will pay you dividends going forward anytime you want to do this, because you'll really have it as opposed to just think you have it. All right, if you chose over here, once you'd be right again. Different place than where it was before, right? But where, you know, to make option A more appealing. But here we want to pick a worse restaurant further away, right? So it's 1-star worse and it's a 15-minute drive. So, you know, it's like, do you want to go to this one restaurant? It's 5 minutes away, the food's really great. Or do you want to stop at this restaurant? It's about 3 times further, 15 minutes away, and the food's just good. Of course people are going to choose this, right? So that's how decoys work. Now, decoys work in every area of life because we make decisions in every area of our life. And whenever and wherever we're making decisions, we're comparing options in our mind. So you can do it with people too, right? How do we make Tom or Jerry seem more attractive? By putting in a decoy. So if we wanted to make Tom look more attractive, we would take and make an uglier version of Tom and include that in the 3 choices, right? In this particular case, when this is done, and this has been tested out the wazoo, you can get a lot more people to choose Tom than maybe would have by putting in a not Tom, right? And not, you know, a Tom that looks different, that's been made to look uglier. An uglier version of Tom makes Tom look more attractive and therefore makes more people choose Tom over Jerry. If we wanted to make Jerry more attractive, we would use an ugly version, an ugly Jerry. When I first found out about this, you know, I had this friend, that I used to go out drinking with all the time, a friend of mine, a fraternity brother of mine, and also college friend Andy, and a lot of people used to tell me that Andy looked like my brother, and I think I'm better looking than Andy, and I think most of my friends have told me that. So we looked kind of similar, but I was a better looking version. So Andy was a great guy for me to go out with, to find, have a good time, to find people. Going out with other guys that look like me but better looking would be a really bad thing if I was trying to meet a woman or whatnot. So anyway, but my point here is that it can be applied everywhere. And then what I did for the audience was I actually had them pick different offers that they were currently running and how would they put a decoy in there. Because until you actually do it, that's why I wanted to put that little exercise in there, until you actually do it, you really don't know it. And if you don't know it, you can't do it. All right, so think about that. And if you have an offer that you're using right now, how could you insert a decoy to get more people to choose the more profitable option for you? All right, let's move on. Let's talk about the soft offer prepay, right? So it's basically just allowing people to start, right? To get something for free for the first 30 days and then be charged, right? Or skip the trial and save 25%. You know, so it was $49 a month after 30 days, or they could just skip the trial and start now and pay $36 a month, right? So you have a soft offer, right? But then you're giving a better deal if they start paying for it right now, right? So this is a trial subscription that goes into a more expensive one, or they can take the discounted subscription right now. Powerful strategy. Let me show you another version of that, right? You can try the $1 trial to get started right now and then pay $37.95 a month. You can just start right now and do it for 40% less, right? $29.95 as opposed to $37.95. I guess there's a $49.95 somewhere, right? But so you're saving 35%. Oh, because they're saving 20% on this option. So you're saving double on this, right? Or you could just pay for the whole year, and that's only $18.97 a month. So this is a good strategy because, you know, when you're not going to get a lot of people potentially to buy right away, so you get them into a trial, but then once they're on this trial page, right, then they look at these two options and they might just roll over and end up taking the more expensive options because long term they will save money. So great approach, good strategy. I believe I had more to say about it at the castle, but it's not as fresh in my mind, so I apologize. But just because I'm not going as deep on this, don't think it's not as powerful as some of the other stuff as well, because this is very powerful. And the idea is that you would advertise the trial. When they got to the order page, they would see these different approaches, right? Because you want to get them to the order page. You want to keep it simple, so they can start right now for just $1. But then when they get to this page, they see that if they try with $1, they're going to be paying $10 or $8 more a month in perpetuity. And if they pay for the year, they're going to be paying $20 less a month for the year. So, cool strategy. Let's go to the next one. Extra unknown options, right? So here, right, you have, let's say that you offered these two, right, from your sales letter, the one-page funnel basic and the one-page funnel advanced. When they get to the order page, they find out that there's actually another one, right? So they get to this page, it's defaulted because they chose, let's say, the more expensive of the two. But now they get to this order page and they find out all of a sudden that there's this other level, right? And in that other level, there are a lot of things that haven't even been spoken about, like a one-on-one coaching call, a 1 year of Sam Cart Premium, etc., right? So this, you know, is basically, you've gotten someone to the order page, they are planning on buying something, right? But letting them know that there's this other option with grayed out stuff, right? Allows a certain percentage who are willing to spend more to spend more. And so very clever strategy, right? It's just an extra option that is put on the order page that has certain things in it that are desirable, that might get a certain percentage of people to step up. Now, when you change this order page, right, you haven't changed the sales letter at all. This is just something that you can work on for an order page and make quite a big difference in your average cart value. All right, next one. Applying credit forward. Basically, when you're taking someone through an upsell process, the best thing to do is to apply what they just spent on the page before to the next price going forward. So I first kind of thought about this and learned about it from a program, the very first program actually, I believe, that I bought from Jay Abraham. And it was something that he did with Chet Holmes. It was called PEQ. And I think I paid $5,000 for that. And then 6 months or 8 months later, Jay and Chet came out with PEQ 2. And you had like 90 days to get PEQ2. PEQ2 was better than PEQ1. It was based on a lot of the stuff in the field that they had done. And so PEQ2 was $7,500. But if you had already bought PEQ1 will give you a full 5,000 credit, what you paid for it, and so now you only have to pay an extra $2,500. A year later, after doing a lot more work with clients, they came out with PEQ3 or PEQ cubed, and that was $10,000, but if you'd already bought one or two, if you bought one, you could apply it to three, and you'd have a $5,000 credit. If you bought two, you'd have a $7,500 credit. And so now this new $10,000 product would only cost you $2,500. So that was in back ends, right? Applying credit forward in back ends. But that's where I first saw it and learned it. It worked on me. I bought all three. So you can also do this in the upsell sequence. When people have money in their pocket that is about to burn away if they don't use it, it makes using it a lot more tempting, right? So let's say you're selling, just for example, you're selling a newsletter for $50, right? The lifetime subscription, the very next page, right? A lifetime subscription is $250, but you just spent $50. So right now, we'll apply that first year to the lifetime, and you can get lifetime for just an extra $200. You already paid $50, right? And if there's another upsell behind that, well, you've just spent $250, so let's give you a full $250 credit for whatever is next, right? And you'll get a better idea of that as we take a look at some of these upsell sequences. Now, the way I like to look at things is that you upsell until you get two no's. The first no is not enough to just stop making offers because maybe it's not the right offer for them. So I like to go for two no's. Most people don't complain that much. So this is a typical kind of funnel that we used to have at Agora. We don't have funnels like this anymore where we're offering a back end, like a $5,000 back end on a $5 product, but we used to, and they worked. The problem was that I think too many people bought without really realizing what they bought. So they ended up seeing like a $5,000 charge on their credit card when they came in for a $5 book offer because they just kept hitting yes, the big yes buttons, and not hitting the smaller no buttons. So we've done away with that. But nonetheless, going for two no's, right? So this was a free book offer, right? Book plus $5 for shipping and handling. And with that, they get a 30-day trial of a newsletter. If they like it, say nothing, and then they'll be billed $99 in 30 days from now, okay? So they say yes to that. Now, first upsell, right? Soft offer prepay. Instead of getting charged $99 in 30 days, buy now and get 2 years for the $99, okay? So some percentage will take that. If they take that, right, then this we'll go to this upsell. Lifetime subscription of the newsletter, $249 minus the $99 they just spent. Now it's only $150. If they say yes to that, then they go here, and then they go there, right? Red is a no, right? So if they said no to the soft offer of getting 2 years for the price of one, right? Well, how about getting a better deal on the year by paying $49 today? Remember, they're going to be billed in 30 days, $99, but if you want to get that newsletter for $49, just take that 1 year right now, okay? If they say no to that, now it's over, right? Because they said no to this, that got them here. They said no to this, that got them there. But let's say that they said no to this. Now you offer them the lifetime again, right? Which is over here. But since they didn't take the 2 year, they didn't see this. They saw this, right? So we're now offering them that same offer that came up here. We're subtracting less because they only spent $49 so far, not the $99, but we're offering this for $199. If they say no to that, it's over, right? Because we've had this no, then this yes, and then in a second no. If they say yes to this, then we're offering them this, okay? So the idea is to go to two no's on upsells. That's really, and carry forward credits. I like to I like to optimize funnels, purchase funnels, not the entire funnel, or upsell funnels, by really understanding what each page is making me as far as the real estate. So let me see if I have this. I believe I do, hopefully. All right, so free book offer, 100 people come in, one person buys, I guess. I think I'm doing a 1% conversion here. So this page, sorry, it's been a while since I've looked at these slides. Okay, so we're looking, since we're doing the upsell path, right, we're taking that everyone's getting this, okay? Because if they don't get this, there is no upsell. They didn't take the first yes. There was no yes, okay? So 100 people hit this page and bought, right? We're not looking at what the conversion rate was of the sales page and order page here. We're just looking at the performance of the upsell funnel, okay? So this page, because 100 people of 100 bought, makes us $5, right, as we're looking at the upsell sequence, okay? Now, of the 100 that hit this, right, because 100 people left this page that said yes, 40 said yes, 60 said no, right? So this page, right, is making us $39.60 per person that hits this page. And we figure that out by taking 40, the number of people that said yes, times 99, the price, times the number of people that hit this page. So this page is making us $39.60 per person that sees this page. Okay? Now, after this, right, if they said yes, they're going to a lifetime subscription of the newsletter. $249 minus the 99 equals $150, right? Of the 40 people that said yes, 20 say no here, 20 say yes, right? So we take the 20 times the 150 divided by the 40 people, right, that ended up getting on this page. This page is making us $75, okay? The 60 people that said no, right, get a better deal on the year by just paying $49 today. We get 40 no's, 20 yeses. So this is 20 people, the 20 people that said yes, times the $49, divided by, rather, the 60 people that hit this page. And this page is now making us $16.30 for every time for every time someone sees that page. We can keep going, right? But what I want to show you is like something like this, right? So this is getting 0 yeses and 20 no's. It's netting us 0, which means that this page is not paying the rent for the upsell path. So you need to change this. Now you also, in this particular example, it works out well, but you might see a page that is not really generating the amount of money it should based on where it is in your upsell path. Just a way of, I'm an accountant by training. A lot of people don't know that. So I think mostly in numbers. So this is the way I've always done it in my head, kind of like what's the rent that page in my upsell path is paying me? Or what's the toll to get past that page? And by looking at it this way, for me at least, I just find it a lot easier to make decisions much more rapidly and much more accurately. All right. Order form abandonment sequences. This is Russell Brunson's, and I got it from this great site called emaildrips.com. It's a free site, and it basically just has lots of it has swipe files of lots of different email sequences, and it tells you, like, even when they come. So this is, like I said, this is Russell's. This first email comes an hour after you've abandoned the cart. This second email comes 3 hours later. This next email comes 1 day later, and this last email comes 2 days later. So it's a great site to look at, get ideas, see the timing that different people are using. If you find certain people that you know do a lot of testing, then those are the people that you want to follow. Second chance follow-up on upsell. Especially if you don't do on the upsell, like one-time offer, you'll never see this price again, but you say like special discounted price, only available on this page, right? Because you can always send them back to the page. Then how about giving them 24 hours? So 24 hours later, the next day, you know, you've probably looked over some of the materials, blah, 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 blah. You see how great it is. Want to make sure that you don't miss out on that chance that I gave you yesterday to take advantage of this special offer, blah, blah, blah. Effective, very effective. Increase email effectiveness. So I'm not sure where the presentation from the castle ended, so we'll talk, well, let's talk it through. Second subject lines, personalized email images, countdown timers, animated email images, high profit email days, best time to send back-end offer emails, use screenshots of Facebook posts in emails, and follow up on desktop after mobile. So let's kind of quickly go through this. We call these second subject lines, and basically this is what it's a preview of what the email is. What we do is we do it in white text on a white background, where we put some sentence in that we think when people see this in their Gmail box, right, or email box, that this will increase the open rate. You're in a battle for attention in an email box. And so, you know, the man kept yelling at me and opened my eyes to this opportunity. These results are off the chart, right? It's a direct marketer's fantasy, right? So this, a lot more valuable than that, okay? And most people don't put any second subject line in, so then it's basically just whatever text the email client sees, you know, it's just gonna pull it up. And it might start out boring. Whereas here, you know, if you start with an open loop or cliffhanger, the likelihood is that it will be opened at a higher rate. We call it the second subject line, but, you know, people call it different things. Here's another example, excuse me. Right? Like this is a bad example, right? Archives unsubscribe. Sell alert, right? That's good. These results, you're seeing it like these are the same emails, but this is on an iPhone as opposed to on a desktop. All right, right? So this is where we put the second subject line, right in there. It's in white text. So hopefully that makes sense to you. Personalized email messages, right? So these both are from Frank, right? So marketing blueprint for Rich, and it's just an image. I'll explain how it's done in a second. Also, another one from Frank, mailed to Rich. Here's Daniel Levis, high ticket selling secret for Rich, right? This is just being put in by a machine, right? Welcome to drop shipping, right? The whole team. Welcome, Dwayne, right? Here, plus this, because the company is plus this, minus John, sad, because this person is ending their membership, right? Here are two companies that do it, niftyimages.com and picsnippets.com. So those were two companies that I've used in the past, but I'm sure there are many more that do it now. This is the countdown timer. All right, here's the Chevron files. Don't even worry about that, basically. But remember, we were talking about deadlines in the other video. Deadlines in email, pretty powerful. And in the slides, I give you a place that has these for email. Animated email images, right? So it's basically just putting a GIF in your email, right? This increases click-through rates. So something, instead of putting an image in your email, why not put a GIF? This I learned from Ryan Dice. This is their high profit email day, right? Basically, at 7 a.m., you email 10% of the list, a promo with 2 different subject lines, you wait an hour. This is if you don't have automated email testing, okay? Wait 1 hour. By then, approximately 25% of all emails get opened. Now you know which subject line is best, right? So now at 8, email another 10% of the list, the winning subject line with 2 different body copies. So you tested the subject line, now you're testing the body copy, right? Wait an hour, if it's a long VSL, maybe a little bit longer, to pick this one that's gotten the most sales or click-throughs. At 9 a.m. now, you have 80% of the list. You take the top subject line, the top body copy, and you now have the winning one going out to 80%. Then at 2 p.m., email all the openers of the previous emails who didn't buy with some unadvertised bonus or special offer. At 6 p.m., email all earlier opens or closing promo with the countdown. If someone bought your front end at 9 p.m., this doesn't move the needle as much as a lot of the other things, but it still can incrementally increase conversion rates. Why not send them back-end promos in or right before or around the same time as when they bought the last thing from you? It might be a sign of when they're in front of their computer. It might be a sign of when they're buying. But the best predictor of future behavior is past behavior. So if someone bought your front end at 9 p.m., then they should be sent their back end promo at 9 p.m. or maybe because back ends are generally longer, we might do an hour before because, you know, for obvious reasons, I think. All right, let's see, what's this? Oh, yeah, so this is just like a Facebook ad that we pasted into an email, and because it is, because the rumors are true, you need to check this out for yourself. Click the Facebook image below to read the news, right? There's a promoted post, I think. Here's the second subject line that I just, highlighted so we could see it. News is quickly spreading throughout the online marketing community worldwide, from the best known authorities in digital marketing to growth hackers. Everyone is talking about ... And then they open it and they see this Facebook post, and that when we've used that in the past, we've boosted click-through rates considerably. Something to try. That ends this second presentation. To higher profits and beyond, Sheffrin, over and out.